Lauderdale County Jail, and more good news about the troops. Our news begins now.
Closed captioning of News Center 11 is provided by Pearl River Resort.
You're watching WTOK-TV, Meridian. Live from East Mississippi and West Alabama's news leader, this is News Center 11 at 10.
Good evening, I'm Tom Daniels. Neshoba County authorities are waiting for an autopsy on the body of a young woman found by a roadside there today. Andrea Williams has the story.
I'm 100% sure it was a homicide.
Neshoba County Sheriff Larry Myers is talking about Sunday night's discovery of a body. The woman was found down this dirt road, County Road 2606, just off Highway 16 West, around 11 o'clock Sunday night. Authorities say all preliminary evidence shows that the woman was indeed murdered. Found here, laying beside the road, they say it appears that she might have even been killed right here on the site, something which they say perhaps even happened not long before she was found by someone passing by. The question now, how did she get there? Or better yet, who was she with? Both just two of many questions that remained unanswered.
At the present time, we do not have identification on her. All I can say is she's a young black female, somewhere in the age of 16 to 21 or 22. She weighed approximately 100 to 110 pounds.
Sheriff Myers goes on to say that the woman was fully clothed. At this time, he says he's awaiting results from an autopsy before releasing the exact cause of death. Meanwhile, anyone with information on the case is asked to call the Neshoba County Sheriff's Department at area code 601-656-1414. With the search for the person or persons responsible ongoing, authorities are offering residents this advice.
Anytime you have a murder, everybody should be alarmed to some extent. So just be precautious,
In Neshoba County, Andrea Williams, News Center 11.
2 men died in a one-vehicle accident around 2 o'clock this afternoon. It happened on Interstate 59 in the southbound lane about 1 mile from the Heidelberg exit. The Mississippi Highway Patrol says the driver of the van apparently fell asleep at the wheel. He survived. His 2 brothers did not. Their names have not been released. Allegations of abuse at the Lauderdale County Jail were made this afternoon at an NAACP press conference. Our George McDonald has the story.
This is a gross misrepresentation of power and abuse of power, and I think it should be judged and dealt with severely.
NAACP officials are calling for the job of Lauderdale County Jail Administrator Kim Reese after alleging the abuse of a 17-year-old inmate at the detention facility in March of this year. They claim the inmate was stripped down to his boxer shorts and tied to a pole under the order of the jail administrator.
The administrator had said that he had damaged a chair, which they had used to restrain inmates. They put inmates in chairs and said he had broken this chair, which led up to this incident. So she felt like she wanted to punish him, so she tied him to the pole, put a helmet also on his head, and stood him there for 30 to 45 minutes. And she came back to him more than one time and tormented him, actually talked to the individual while he was there on the pole. And if they're going to make decisions like this, they shouldn't be in that position in the first place.
Although incarcerated on charges of attempted murder, the NAACP says his treatment was inhumane and violated his civil rights.
Regardless of what this young man did, I know this is not the Boy Scouts, but this is not Iraq, and this is not a war zone, so there's no reason for anybody to be treated this way.
Officials at the Sheriff's Department could not comment on the matter.
Due to possible pending litigation, we must refrain from making public comments. We've done our own internal investigation. Our law firm has done their investigation, and we're going to move forward.
George McDonald, News Center 11.
A Meridian police officer found an estimated $1 million worth of marijuana after stopping an 18-wheeler on I-2059 Sunday afternoon. The 2,000 pounds of pot was packed between layers of broccoli. Major Steve Spears of the East Mississippi Drug Task Force said the bust was an example of good police work, and the investigation continues.
We're not sure of the exact location. That is, the case is still being investigated by us and Customs to determine the exact location of where the marijuana was going.
The driver, 39-year-old Juan Salinas of Mission, Texas, was arrested. The drugs were turned over to the federal authorities, which will prosecute the case. A U.S. Marine who went missing in Iraq and later turned up in Lebanon has publicly denied rumors that he may have deserted. The story tonight from ABC's Nancy Weiner.
Today, for the first time, Marine Corporal Wasif Ali Hassoun publicly addressed the questions swirling around his mysterious disappearance in Iraq.
I did not desert my post. I was captured and held against my will by anti-coalition forces for 19 days.
Corporal Hassoun read from a prepared statement outside Quantico Marine Base in Virginia. The 24-year-old of Lebanese descent took no questions and gave next to no details about what happened to him.
This was a very difficult and challenging time for me.
Hassoun returned to the U.S. on Thursday after 6 days of medical evaluation at a military hospital in Germany. He went missing from his base near Fallujah on June 20th. An insurgent group later broadcast video of the blindfolded Marine and threatened to kill him. But then Hassoun showed up unharmed at the U.S. Embassy in Beirut on July 8th. Military investigators said it was possible the whole thing was a hoax.
Any conclusions about what happened between the time that he disappeared and when he was returned to our control remains to be the focus of both the repatriation process itself and then any investigations that might go on.
Naval investigators plan to question Hassoun about his disappearance, but not until his repatriation process is complete, which could take weeks or months. Nancy Weiner, ABC News, Washington.
The 287th Transportation Company of the Alabama National Guard was honored over the weekend in Livingston. Members have been on active duty in Iraq for more than a year. District 7 Congressman Artur Davis was on hand to present medals of appreciation.
This ceremony is for the soldiers, and I'm so proud of those guys. They did a great job over there. They made me proud.
It's great to be back home. This is like the second war for me, but this one was, well, a lot worse than the first one, and so it's just good to be back around family and friends.
I simply wanted to thank them for what they've done, to certainly acknowledge that we're so thankful to God that He brought them back here, and we have such an understanding of the sacrifices they went through.
About 300 members of the 287th had been in Iraq since March of 2003. The unit transports military cargo. Well, at 6 tonight, Jason mentioned some cool temperatures. Are we still going to get those tonight?
Yeah, looks like it. Even though we're not cooling down quite as quickly as we did last night, there's still some dry air in place. And with dry air, clear skies, and light winds, you typically have your cooler nights. This time last week, we were in the upper 70s and lower 80s. Currently, we're in the low 70s across most of the Twin States. It's 74 now in Meridian, 72 currently in Columbus, 76 up toward Greenville. Satellite radar composite, there are some clouds way down into northwest Florida. That's about as close as they come to us, with the exception of those fair weather clouds that develop into the afternoon today. We'll expect more of the same for those tomorrow, but the temperatures start going back up and the humidity starts to increase, and we'll detail your full forecast, which does include some more rain toward the weekend coming up.
All right, thank you, Jason. The controversy over Governor Barber's Medicaid plan has some Mississippi residents concerned, but one state lawmaker is optimistic the plan will work. That and other issues discussed at today's Council of Governments meeting. Stan Torgerson reports.
Representative Greg Snowden was called on for comments about the current Medicaid crisis in the state. He is optimistic the problem will be solved.
I believe on September 15th, if this is not working like it's supposed to be, we're going to extend it further. And ultimately, if it's not working like it's intended and we have people that are uncovered, we're going to go, put it back like it was, regardless of the cost.
If it is put back, Snowden said, the legislature will have to find an additional $50 million.
We had a budget deal in May. We had everything on the table. We knew the amount of money we had to spend, and we made some tough choices. And now, rather than giving this program time to work, some folks want to say, well, now let's just go back and put it, because they're kind of panicking. Let's go back and do it. Well, that's $50 million. Well, where's that $50 million going to come? We're not bringing education and highways back to the table. We're talking about another $50 million deficit.
County Supervisor Craig Hitt pointed out the state's money problems are impacting the cities and the counties.
We have to realize that city and county taxes are being called on to pick up some of the areas that are not being funded by the state anymore.
But City Councilman George Thomas was optimistic about the 2005 city budget.
As far as I know, there probably will not be a tax increase in the city. We'll limit it to what we've got coming in.
Since sales tax collections are up for the city and there has been growth, there will be more for the council to budget. Stan Torgerson, News Center 11.
Speaking of money, the Meridian School Board was presented with the 2004-2005 budget at the regular board meeting this evening. Suzanne Smith explains.
We have presented a budget to the public and to the school board tonight with some $60 million in revenues and over $61 million in expenditures. We will actually be spending $1.1 million more this year than we're taking in, and that's due in large because of special revenue funds that have carry forward balances that will be spent. We also plan to use $600,000 worth of reserves in our district maintenance fund or our general operating fund to balance the budget this year.
Smith says the hope is over the next year or two that the Meridian School District's fiscal problems will be solved. Still ahead, Jason will have your full 7-day forecast. And then a new tool for losing those extra pounds.
Live from Meridian, you're watching East Mississippi and West Alabama's news leaders. News Center 11 at 10 with Tom Daniels. Weather with meteorologist Jason Simpson. And sports with Jamie Triplett. This is News Center 11 at 10. News Center 11 at 10, brought to you by Sunbelt Motors. We're driven to be the best.
Even though we were below normal today for afternoon highs, it's still fairly hot as we are in July, and the sunshine is high in the sky and that solar angle very high, helping to keep things warm. But without the humidity, it hasn't felt nearly as oppressive, at least the last 2 days. Our high today was 88 degrees, 66 was this morning's low. That's a bit below normal on both accounts. The record high is 103, set back in 1981. We're not going to be anywhere close to that, except maybe the heat index getting back a little closer to 100 to 105 degrees toward the middle and end of this week. But the next day or so, looking pretty good. 74 is our current temperature with a clear sky. Winds currently calm. The barometer steady as high pressures nestled in right here across northern Mississippi. That's really keeping most everything at bay. Lots of clouds, showers, and thunderstorms across parts of Florida. New thunderstorms had developed in the heat of the day in the afternoon and evening across the Rocky Mountains into New Mexico and Colorado. But around here, things are relatively dry and still warm. 78 in Jackson. It's 82 now in Memphis. The heat continues to build back out to the west after that cold front came through over the weekend. It knocked some of that heat down, but now it's starting to resurge as an area of high pressure way back out here aloft. That's a big bubble of air, warm air in the upper parts of the atmosphere is driving these little storm systems down from Canada. That's helping to bring some drier and slightly cooler air into the eastern half of the country. We're not talking about springtime or fall-like air by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a little cooler than it was last week. Temperatures by tomorrow afternoon, low 90s to the north, right around 90 at Bellamy, 92 DeKalb, 91 for Lizelia, 91 at Conahatta and Quitman, 90 for Denham. Some of the warmest air still yet to come for the season. That's developing back out here to the west, and there is a chance some of that could work its way in here, and we could see 95 or 96 degrees again as we head in toward the middle of the week. But there's another storm system coming too. Now, high pressure into the day tomorrow, sitting right on top of us, so we expect light winds, mostly clear skies except for those fair weather cumulus clouds. Tomorrow night, mostly dry once again, a night much like tonight, but notice more stormy weather developing back out here into the plains, and some of that may work its way in here toward the end of this week. In the tropics, this is something we haven't talked about so far tropical season-wise. It's been very quiet. There is a tropical wave, a very strong one, approaching the Windward Islands right now. That's just massive clouds right there. Of course, Meridian located right there into the North American continent, but this is still several days away. There are two lines of thinking with this. One says this could become a tropical depression or a storm and then recurve back out into the Atlantic. Another computer model suggests it may come into Florida sometime over the weekend or into next week, so something for us to watch, to say the least. 63 degrees, your overnight low, near record. The record is actually 62 at Keyfield. Some spots will see 62 early tomorrow morning. 91 your high. Now for tomorrow afternoon with the heat index fairly low. Next 7 days, here is your weekend as always in view. We've got highs up close to 95 degrees for Thursday and Friday. The humidity comes back up then too. May see a scattered storm or two late Thursday into Friday especially. Then by Saturday, Sunday and Monday, a little better chance of rain as a weak cool front works its way in here. And the clouds and showers will help to hold temperatures back right around 90 for the weekend and early next week.
All right, but in the 60s tonight. That's
yeah, it'll
refreshing.
Feel nice. Yeah, shut that air conditioner off, save some power.
Thank you. I probably will.
Okay.
And some money. More of our good news segment tonight featuring photos of some of our armed forces members doing everyday sorts of things.
Sergeant Ralph White Jr. of Meridian is serving with the 185th Aviation Group, Company G. We invite you to share not only pictures, but letters and emails sent from service members like these. Richard House Jr., who also has family in this area, is currently stationed in Iraq. Haziz, a shopkeeper in Iraq, shows off for his American soldier friends. He supplies them with fresh food and water. Soldiers stop on the streets of Baghdad for a photo opportunity. And an American soldier sings and plays the guitar for children in Iraq.
So if you have photos or letters or whatever that you'd like included in Good News, just email them to us at WTOK.com or call us at 693-1441. Still ahead, a new treatment for obesity that's coming up in Health Watch.
Miss Knightley.
A Medicare ruling is good news for one company that's developing a new treatment for obesity. It is a nasal spray. More on that in Health Watch.
What if this small spray is the key to ending America's obesity epidemic?
Absolutely. I think any easy fix, not have to work hard at it, would be something people would jump to.
This product could be used in over 60 million Americans.
A Bothell company, Naztec Pharmaceuticals, is testing a nasal spray for obesity treatment. In trials with 3 sprays a day, obese people lost a pound a week. Here's how it works. As you eat, the stomach releases, little by little, a chemical telling your brain stop eating. The nasal spray contains that same chemical. Spray it before a meal, and your brain thinks you've already eaten, so you'll eat less. Of course, skeptics say there's a healthier way to purge the pounds.
Just exercise, eat good. I don't know, I think all those quick fixes are not healthy.
I think if people would just eat healthy to begin with, the dieting wouldn't be an issue.
It's not a matter of willpower, really. It's not a matter of desire.
Naztec says it's really about the type of food in our modern diet. We eat too many calories too quickly. Our body doesn't send signals to our brain fast enough.
One of the problems now is in 40 minutes of modern food, you can do so much damage.
Naztec also thinks its product could be a financial windfall.
That would be a $60 billion market for this drug alone.
So what would it cost you? Naztec figures about $3 a day. In Bothell, Leslie Knopp, Como 4 News.
Health Watch, brought to you by Rush, your choice for a lifetime.
Time again for our bi-weekly CrimeNet report. Major Ward Calhoun has details.
I'm Major Ward Calhoun with the Lauderdale County Sheriff's Department, bringing you another edition of CrimeNet, that part of the newscast where local law enforcement asks for you and the community to help us find the bad guys. Today we need your help in locating Harold Carr. Carr is a 28-year-old black male who stands approximately 6 feet in height, weighing 260 pounds. Carr is wanted on a bench warrant out of the Circuit Court of Lauderdale County, where he's been charged with possession of cocaine and possession of a firearm by a felon. The key to our success of catching Mr. Carr will be a phone call from you to the local Crime Stopper line or to your local law enforcement agency. We need your help. I'm Major Ward Calhoun for CrimeNet.
So if you can help to locate Harold Carr Jr., call 917-8888 or 485-1860. CrimeNet is seen Mondays and Thursdays at 6 and 10 on News Center 11. Jamie Triplett joins us now. What's happening?
Well, Tom, I'll tell you, the Braves and the Phillies are trying to fight for first place, and it was a good game tonight. Eric Dampier is still a free agent. Who will he play for? And we have some girls that would love to put the sting on you. I have those stories plus Braves highlights, and the 12-year-old Cal Ripken team are gearing up for the regional tournament. Got a question? Welcome back. As you probably noticed lately in the it's championship time for the youth baseball and softball teams. And one of those championship teams has a chance to win even more. After winning the third straight Cal Ripken State Championship, the 12-year-old Meridian team is now preparing for the regional tournament in Lake Village, Arkansas. While the guys geared up for a friendly intra-squad game tonight, the real test will begin on Friday.
Not feeling any pressure. They've been working extremely hard. We've had them for about 3 or 4 years now, most of these kids, and we all speak the same language. They know what we're talking about when we tell them certain things, and they're willing to work. They know what we expect of them, and they're not feeling the pressure. They're having fun as they work hard.
The first game of the regional is set to start on Friday, and the winner of the tourney will earn a spot in the World Series in Aberdeen, Maryland. The Mississippi Sting 8 and under softball team was hard at work tonight in Enterprise. The girls defeated Sandy Plains out of Marietta, Georgia's 12-11 Saturday for the NSA 8 and under championship. Now the girls will go to Lafayette, Louisiana next for the USSSA World Series. The Sting is ranked #1 in the nation in the USSSA polls. The beauty of the 2004 and 2005 basketball season is that there is no consensus favorite. And for the first time in a long time, the Mississippi State Bulldogs are ranked higher than Kentucky to start the season. And you can thank Lawrence Roberts for that. According to ESPN.com college basketball writer Andy Katz, the Bulldogs are ranked number 11 in the nation as of now. The reason for the high ranking? Roberts decided to return for his senior season. The 6'9" forward will have helped. The return of point guard Gary Irvin and wing Shane Power this season make the Bulldogs the favorite in the SEC West. Having dispatched the Montreal Expos with relative ease this weekend, the Braves could concentrate on more pressing matter, namely the Philadelphia Phillies. Both teams came in tied for first place, but only one team will hold a top spot after tonight. Bottom of the second, Braves down by one man on. Adam LaRoche doubles to left center field. Atlanta ties the game at 1, now still in the second. Game still tied at 1 man on. Andrew Jones hits a single up the middle to score. LaRoche. Braves didn't look back from there, and they are in the first place sole position, winning 4-2. It's D-Day for former Mississippi State Bulldog Eric Dampier. Will it be New York or Atlanta? The Warriors have accepted the Knicks sign and trade offer for Nazir Muhammad and Othello Harrington, but before agreeing to sign with the Knicks, Dampier, the 7-foot agent center, had a meeting with the Hawks brass today in Atlanta. The Hawks can sign Dampier outright because they are under the cap and can offer a maximum deal. However, the Knicks can extend a 7-year under sign and trade rules, and that will be Dampier in Atlanta probably. The fishing game forecast from Alignment Tire and Brake and Meridian Tire and Brake, the best tire and auto service. If you head out for the water on Tuesday, you can expect the best fishing at 9:30 in the morning, with peak activity should occur at 4 o'clock in the evening. And Tom, the Braves are slowly trying to creep up to first place and stay there. They might win that division championship after all.
They're hot.
Oh, they're hot.
All right, thank you, Jamie. Still ahead, Jason will recap the forecast. We'll be right back.
Chevrolet. Get the latest tips on gardening, flowers, plants, and more with Southern Gardening. Landscaping and gardening expert Norman Winter will take you through the basics. Learn all about the latest flowers and plants, when to plant, how to maintain your yard, how to keep a beautiful lawn and garden, and so much more. Plus, get seasonal tips on how to decorate and what to use in your yard. Southern Gardening, Wednesdays on Good Morning Meridian. In some cities, crime is on the rise. In East Central Mississippi and West Alabama, crime is on the run.
You're watching CrimeNet, the show where you, the viewers, get to help us catch the bad guys.
Watch CrimeNet, the news segment that snares the criminals in a community-wide web, impossible to outrun.
Help us to show the bad guys there's nowhere to hide in East Central Mississippi or West Alabama.
Crime Net on News Center 11.
Once again, here's Jason.
Well, it was hot today, but the lack of humidity made it feel a little more comfortable than it has the last few days. Tonight, a fairly comfortable night down to around the mid-60s for your overnight low. The record low is 62. I don't think we'll quite break the record, but some spots could get very close. High temperatures tomorrow into the low 90s, back in the mid-90s, though, by the middle and end of this week. As the temperatures come up, so will the humidity, and then we'll see a chance of showers and thunderstorms returning for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, with the best chances of rain over the weekend and early in the next week.
Getting close to the dog days of summer.
We are in them.
We
all
are
the way
in
until August 11th.
Okay. I thought that was more like 1st of August.
Well, it runs through the 1st of August.
All right. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, folks, for joining us. Our news continues on Good Morning Meridian. We'll see you here again tomorrow night at 6 and 10. Good night.
And cattlemen, you know, that's like mixing cat.